Hey everyone, Elite here, back again with another episode of Pokemon Showdown. So, I realized last week I didn't have any videos at all. My mistake. I did all my recording at once, which already is a bad idea in its own. But with my schedule lately, I'm kinda have to do that. But I also did not turn the mic on, because I turned the microphone off to record some of those bonus videos over the past weekend. Namely the one with Weavile in it. And it turns out I forgot to actually turn my microphone back on when I re-recorded those episodes. A lot of things happen in those episodes, and I plan to cover them later. It'll probably be a bonus episode on their own that'll appear next weekend. But more importantly, I'm going to do something special this weekend to kind of set up next weekend, as it'll be something special, you know. I'm going to put the Game Dev Tycoon on hold. I don't know if I'll go back to it or not. I didn't enjoy making that episode. No one's watched the episode. And the game is not as fun as I remember it. So that series probably will be cancelled, but this week I'm going to do something different to make up for last week. Videos will be going out at a very nice rate. So, this is a Sunday video. First off, today's my birthday, yay, whatever. I don't like to self-celebrate. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to be doing a team building video because the monthly metagame has come out. And I actually talked about this in one of the failed videos, and I said I was actually going to play the monthly metagame because more than likely it was going to be relating to Pokemon abilities. And this monthly metagame is called Ability Unity. And the point of it is, any Pokemon that shares a type with another can have that ability. Say, I want to use, I don't know, Blaziken and Emboar, and I can give my Emboar Speed Boost because they have to share the same typing. Or if I want to use a Flygon and a Garchomp, I can give my Garchomp Levitate. Makes sense, right? So any Pokemon that share a type can also share abilities. Now, I don't know how far this extent goes. I know that Ubers are still banned in this tier. This is up to OU. But the metagame is going to go completely different. You're going to see a lot of Galeweens. I don't know if I'm going to run into Galeweens. But then again, Galeween's Charizard sounds pretty nice. But, more importantly, I'm going to build my team on camera this time to show you kind of the process. Plus, this is kind of a unique thing, and if I'm going to be running all week with it, I might as well show you how I built the team and why I got where I did. Whether I do terrible or I do good. And we are going to have a Pokemon Showdown video every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and they're all going to be Ability Unity. But with that intro out of the way, and minutes of your life wasted listening to this, let's get started picking the base of our team. Picking a good Pokemon to be sort of like the center. Now, I'm not 100% sure how Mega Pokemon work in this. I'm pretty sure they actually keep their Mega ability. I'm just gonna guess. So I have no idea what to go with. I might fast forward a bit. Well, after that short break, it dawns on me Mew can learn just about every move in the game. So that was kind of a waste of a time. But that allows me to do whatever I want with Mew. So I can teach Mew, I'm probably going to teach him Magic Bounce. Now to prove that this is true, I'm going to validate Mew, just give it a random move, and Mew is illegal, even though it has an illegal ability. That's because of this game mode. It allows you to do what I said. Take abilities from Pokemon with a similar typing. Now I can do absolutely whatever I want with this Mew. There's multiple movesets I can go with. But honestly, I feel like it's safe to go with kind of a stalling unit. I don't use OU Pokemon that much, especially the mythical ones that have, you know, all base 100 stats. I don't know much of what to do, but I guess it's a learning experience. I don't know. To be fair, no one's learning anything. This is a completely unique game mode. We're only seeing it in the month of April. So, if you do want to play this game mode in Pokemon Showdown, I recommend you do it now. Or else you're gonna miss your opportunity. I don't know how often these game modes return, but it doesn't seem often, since I've never seen the same one appear more than once. I could be wrong. But first off, Will-O-Wisp is a great one to start with. I could go with Toxic, which is a safer choice, but Will-O-Wisp cripples attackers really well. Toxic cripples walls really well. There's kind of a difference there. What I really like about Mew is the idea that it can just set up and do whatever it wants, or you can just go all out attacking. You can do whatever you want with it. And you don't even need Stab to be a offensive user or defensive user. But I'm gonna go with a bit of a generic set here. And actually, no, I'm gonna go with Defog instead of Taunt. With Defog, I can get rid of any enemy entry hazards, and depending on what my team is, that could be incredible clutch, and it would be very useful in the future. Taunt just keeps them from doing that, which is more for predicting game than anything. Next, I can just go for a Psychic type move. Simple enough. More than likely, Psy Shock is what I'll go with, because it is a very good move. But at the same time, Psychic is a very good move. And I'm not pro enough to use Psy Shock. I'll just use generic Psychic, which is also recommended. And I've seen a lot of sets that actually carry Soft Boiled, which is actually a really good set, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm going to use the Leftovers just because it gives it a little more bulk. Now the stat spread I'm going to be going for is just pretty much a bit of a bulk setup, a decent amount of HP, and then a lot of special defense, probably a lot of standard defense, I don't know. No, not standard defense. Speed is probably the safe bet. And then I'm going to have its nature lower my physical attack and raise my special defense, because I'm not going to be using my special attack. Now the next thing I'm going to need for this team is probably some kind of just glass cannon, something that hits hard, that hits fast. It doesn't have to have amazing defenses, but it just needs to be pure offense. There's a lot of Pokemon that can fill this slot, but because of the whole metagame here, I want to find one that has a very common typing. So my next choice is Haxorus, which is a pure dragon type with the Sheer Force ability. It gains Sheer Force from Bagon of all Pokemon, which is actually pretty cool. That even a Pokemon with such as Bagon, which has an ability that's not amazing for it, and in fact the Bagon itself isn't great, unless it's in like Little Cup. Now Haxorus can use this ability, and Sheer Force Haxorus sounds absolutely amazing and destructive. I'm going to ban the Haxorus, and I'm going to get as much damage out of this thing as I can. I'm going to max my attack, I'm going to go adamant. I'm going to go all in. The next thing I should probably do is raise my speed up. Figure that's important. And just put the last few points in defense. So it's going to be fast, it's going to hit hard, it's exactly what I want this to do. But because it's banded, it's not going to get any setup boosts. Which, in all honesty, is fine anyway. It's going to get outrage, which is sadly not affected by sheer force. Let's say rock slide, it's affected by sheer force. You know what? No. Life Orb actually breaks through sheer force, because after every single attack, I do not take damage from Life Orb when using sheer force. It's actually kind of a... how do I say this? It's a loophole. It's a way to get around the system. And it's really cool, really useful. And it's... honestly, it allows you to do a lot of really cool things, because easy power, nothing holding me back except for a full item slot, which is never really a bad thing if your item's good. So I can go for Dragon Dance, and I can keep Outrage. And say, I don't know, Focus Blast? I'm not going to use Focus Blast, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Anything with a special effect gets a 1.3 attack boost, a 30% attack boost. Poison Jab, it's going to do a lot more. So I'm going to go with Rock Slide on the Haxorus. And the other move I'm going to go for will probably be... it's probably going to be Poison Jab, because it removes the chance of poisoning the enemy. Rock Slide removes the chance of lowering the enemy's stats, giving them both boosts. I don't know what sets are actually used for Haxorus, but I feel like this is the most effective one if I have Sheer Force, because it takes Sheer Force into effect. So I'm going to decide on the next Pokemon. Be right back. The next one, I'm actually going to go with something a bit different here. And by different, I mean exactly what most people expected. I'm going to go with Porygon Z with a Protean ability, because something that's really special about Porygon Z is the fact that it has a very varied, it's quite the varied moveset. But because of this, I don't really need to have anything special. I don't need to really have anything to set up. I will keep Tri-Attack, simply because it is an amazing move that works well with Porygon. A chance to give any kind of status to an enemy. Really, that can't be passed up. Let's say I want to give it, I don't know, Thunder or Signal Beam. I can give it anything I want because that changes its typing. I'll definitely give it Discharge. I will definitely give it Dark Pulse. And I can safely give it just about anything I want here. So I can safely give it Ice Beam. And right there I've got a moveset that works perfectly with Protean. And I don't know what else to give it, honestly. I suppose I'll just give it the leftovers, unless I find a better item to give it. Obviously go all out special attack. go all out speed, I guess. Not all out speed, I'll put a bit of it into HP, because it has a decent base HP stat. But it's nothing to get excited over. I'll go modest nature because I won't be using my attack stat. You know, pretty simple put together moveset. For this next one, I actually have this moveset ready in the Pokemon. This is just a normal Registeel, the normal moveset you would probably see on one. But what's special about it is that it's got the filter ability, which is Mega Aggron's ability. Super effective moves only do 75% damage, making Registeel that much more bulky. That just makes it that much better of a defensive wall. Now, what's unique about this set is the whole point of this set is to keep Registeel on the field as long as possible. So what's got leftovers, which is the first thing you should do if you want to keep them on the field that long. It's got Rest and Sleep Talk, which is another way to keep them on out there for a very long time. It's got Curse, so it can set up before or after it falls asleep. And obviously it has to have an offensive move, which is the Stab Iron Head, which when combined with Curse, does an absolute shit ton of damage. It's going to destroy anything in its path. And I've swept entire teams with this Registeel. Now that it has Filter, it's only that much more impressive. And I'm really looking forward to using it. For the stats, I'm going to keep it the same way I usually do. I went with a more special defensive idea, because there's going to be a lot of Focus Blast, there's going to be a lot of Earth Powers. Earthquake hits hard, but it's still going to tank it, especially after just one Curse. That's why the defense is lower than a special defense, because Curse will pick up where the defense fails. That's why it's such a huge importance to have the special defense up, because I'm not going to be able to raise it at all afterwards. With that out of the way, on to the next one. For this one, I'm going with something a little different. I'm actually going to be going with an Illusion Umbreon. Obviously, Illusion coming from Zora Arc. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make this Pokemon about as bulky as I can possibly get it. I want to even out its defense and special defense stat. Seems like the easiest way to go. Now, Umbreon on its own isn't that great of an attacker, but what makes up for it is a very exceptional wall. Combined with the fact that I'll be tricking opponents into hitting it with a not very effective attack potentially, there's a good chance Umbreon will be very useful in just playing mind games on the enemy. So I'll go for a special attack down and defense up. Some of these natures I have never used before. It'll be a special attack down, defense up. Impish nature. Actually, I have used Impish nature. But yeah, I want to make my defense as equal as possible and put the rest of it in HP. That way this thing can take as many hits as it can, and Umbreon will be disguised as the last Pokemon in the party, which I'll probably put Mew there, and the only thing that will be of a risk is Bug-type moves. Actually, no. I'm going to put the Haxorus there, because Dragon is only super effective against itself. Umbreon can completely handle Dragon, so I have faith that I can do that, I guess. I don't know what item to put on Umbreon. I have no idea whatsoever. I'm gonna have to look this one up. So apparently a lot of people actually put leftovers in this one, and I already have leftovers on 2 Pokemon. That's not gonna stop me from putting leftovers on this one. Because I can go for the usual shenanigans when it comes to Umbreon. I can Wish, I can go for the heal bell, the baton pass, and the foul play. And I know it's probably a good idea to have protect or moonlight on here, but that's not too much of an option right now. Foul play is important just because I need to have an offensive move, but overall, it's probably most important to have Wish of all things if I'm going to do anything like that. Heal bell and baton pass seem like the smart thing to do. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure about this team so far. But with that out of the way, I'm going to get the last member of the team ready. And for the final Pokemon of the party, I'm going to be using a Gale Wings Moltres, which it gains Gale Wings from Talonflame. And anyone in a metagame knows, Gale Wings is an absolutely amazing ability. It gives priority to flying type moves, which it basically makes you not only incredibly powerful, but you're gonna hit hard really fast. Now, it seems important that I should definitely have Roost on this moveset, so I'm not going to go with anything that will keep me from using Roost. More than likely I'm just going to go for the Life Orb actually, because I can recover that HP with Roost. And I'll just kind of go with the generic Moltres moveset, but just know that Hurricane is going to hit before every other move, and it's just going to make it such an absolutely amazing sort of set. And I figure I should have some kind of hidden power, and Grass is something my team doesn't really cover. Now with the stats, I'm gonna go, obviously, speed. I will raise its special attack. I don't know if I'll raise it all the way though. I think it might be smart to put the rest of that in the HP. And then I will give it a speed boosting nature, which will be timid because it lowers attack. So now I've got an incredibly fast hitting legendary on my team, with a very solid moveset that definitely fits the team really well. I didn't have any reliable fire types, didn't have any reliable flying types. So let's go over the team one last time. First off, there's Mew, with holding leftovers, got the Magic Bounce ability, using Will-O-Wisp, Psychic, Defog, Soft Boiled, Defog to cover those injury hazards, Will-O-Wisp to burn the enemies, and Soft Boiled to keep Mew healthy at all times. Magic Bounce is gained from Espeon, I believe, and instead of adding pressure, Magic Bounce allows all status moves to be bounced back at the enemy. Haxorus, holding a Life Orb, has the ability Sheer Force, which it gains from Bagon. It's got Outrage, which is Stab, Dragon Dance to set up easily, and Rock Slide and Poison Trap, which are both affected by Sheer Force, making it an absolute powerhouse in a battlefield. Next I have my Porygon Z holding the leftovers, with the Protean ability, which feeds off of its absolutely wide sort of moveset. It carries Tri-Attack, which is a very reliable normal type move, with easy to pull off statuses, Discharge, Pulse, and Ice Beam, which are once again very reliable moves that also give Porygon Z leverage for changing types. Very useful. Registeel, holding leftovers, has the ability Filter, which does 75% damage. Registeel takes 75% damage from all super effective attacks. It carries Curse to get an easy setup, Rest and Sleep Talk, That way not only I can heal, but I can still safely attack the enemy most of the time. And Iron Head, because it's a very strong stab physical attack that feeds off the curse. Simple enough. Don't count on the flinch. Registeel is not fast enough for that. Next, I'm going to have my Umbreon holding the Leftovers, which Leftovers is kind of a trend with this team at this point. With the Illusion ability, because of the fact it has a pretty bulky stats, I figure the Illusion will cover, and that's that. It carries Wish, Foul Play, Heal Bell, Baton Pass. Standard Umbreon moveset if you don't know how Umbreon works. You haven't played too much of UU, OU. Lastly, I have Moltres with the Gale Wings ability, holding a life orb. Gale Wings coming from Talonflame. It gives priority to Roost and Hurricane, but also I have Fire Blast and Hidden Power Grass. Fire Blast is a very strong stab attack, and Hidden Power Grass to be nice, easy coverage. One last check for validity, and it is valid. So, with that out of the way, starting this week I'm going to be doing nothing but ability unity with this team. I might rearrange a team, but that'll be mostly so Imposter works correctly. But with all that out of the way, prepare for this week to be nothing but ability unity on Pokemon Showdown, only in the month of April. And I'll see you guys in the next one.